It is 6:24 a.m. and it hailed last night. It stormed. My tent leaked a good bit. Most of my stuff is either soaked or damp. My quilt's wet. And it's going to be it's right now, it's like 43, I think. And it's supposed to be falling. It's supposed to be like 38 to 39 pretty much all afternoon. I just put on my shirt. It's slightly damp. I'm going to finish getting packed up here, put my rain gear on and get to walking to stay warm. I don't know how much filming will be done today because if it's raining, I'm going to probably keep my camera put up. Okay, it's not actively raining right now. I've been on the trail for just not very long, 15 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. The trail is mud and slick, wet rock. Everything's wet, like me and my stuff. Of course, my brain went to, are there any outs? I don't really think there are. 40 miles to Cascade Lock from camp. And 25 from camp, we got to do the fire detour beyond Eagle Creek loop or trail. And that is supposed to be beautiful. That's where the famous waterfall that you walk behind is. And there's a lot of steep drop-offs. First couple miles of that trail are like 2,500 feet of descent in 3 miles. So, man, I hope it's not raining for that while it's also slick. But hopefully the waterfall won't be till tomorrow morning, the big famous one. But yeah, today's going to be a slog. There's not going to be anything good about it. Some of the stuff that I've seen so far looks like it would probably be pretty, but it's so foggy and rainy you can't see anything. So, try to stay positive. That's all there is to do. Just try. All right, look at these. All right, so I'm going to video something here today because Michelle found us. You met her at Trail Days, and she found us for Trail Magic here. And it is so cold, but it's so nice to have some food. We don't have to dig our food out of our bags. We've been talking about trying to do 29 miles today, 29 more miles today, and I don't think that's going to happen. So I think we're just going to be sleeping with wet quilts. And I don't know, I'm ready for a climb just to warm back up. All right, I have not done a very good job videoing today. I videoed very briefly when we were at Michelle's Trail Magic. It was so cold, couldn't feel my hands. Trying to put cream cheese on a bagel and my hands were trembling. But that was a very, very kind Michelle. It was so nice to be able to eat a bunch of food and not have to open my pack, help keep us dry. And Cece was behind me when we started seeing your poster boards. And I was like, and she yelled at me, "We're not staying long." But man, you can see behind me, all these colors are changing. We have been seeing lots of like reds and yellows and oranges in the leaves. Today, this afternoon, it's like in the 30s, like 38, 39. The high today was like 46, and I think that was this morning. It has not been a hard rain most of the day, but man, last night was rough. There was a light rain the first few hours. Had to poop in the rain. Got lost in the rain a few times. When all the plants are heavy with water, a lot of them go over the trail. Plus, combine that with like the misty haziness, it's hard to see where the trail is sometimes. But I caught up with Cece in Hollywood, I don't know, maybe 8 miles in for the day, somewhere like that. And then we got to the Trail Magic with Michelle. And let's see, we've done another 2. We're about 14 miles in for the day now. We got about 11 more to where we have to take the alternate. And something I learned last night, the famous waterfall that has the tunnel behind it is right up here on this alternate. So we were half talking about trying to do 41 miles today to get to town since we're all wet and cold. But I don't really want to miss that and go through there in the dark. It was so cold when we were at the Trail Magic. We were all on board with if we could get a ride to town, go to town, dry out, get our quilts dry. It's not supposed to rain tomorrow. Come back and do this in better weather. But there was only one car coming through there. And I talked to them. They were going to hike. They said they'd take us, but it could be a couple hours. We couldn't wait. If we sat there too long, we'd been hypothermic. But now we have climbed this hill, mountain, whatever. Now I'm toasty warm. So as long as it doesn't get any worse, rain-wise, today will just be another day. It'll turn out okay. All right, as you can see behind me, it's still kind of ominous. It's a little after 3 p.m. So I don't know if I've mentioned this because I'm not a real big huckleberry eater. I eat them sometimes. They're all along the trail. And I eat a couple here and there. Yesterday on the way to the buffet, the girl ahead of me kept stopping and grabbing some. So every time she stopped, I stopped. But usually the bushes are pretty picked off, like picked over right next to the trail. The people can just grab them as they walk by. But then you can usually see like a couple feet off the trail, you know, there's a healthy amounts. This last stretch, there have been just some spots where there's tons of big plump ones right there on the edge of the trail. So I've grabbed, I don't know, I haven't had many, maybe a dozen or 20 or something. They're really good though. We are, I don't even know, probably 19 and a half maybe in for the day. I think we're still trying to get to 30. We got this steep climb when we leave the PCT and get on the Eagle Creek Trail, which is the alternate right now. Even when it's not the alternate, I think it's the one everybody takes because that's where Tower Falls is. Not Tower Falls, Tunnel Falls. So, yeah, it's just wet and mucky. Mucky yucky. I told Hollywood this morning, I said, man, how do we do this all the time in the AT? It sucks. So maybe we really are just like romanticizing the AT. And either that or we were just knew it was part of it on the AT. And we don't really have to deal with rain here much. And we've gone from like nice weather to in the 30s and raining pretty quickly. So the other thing is none of us have like our base layers or any warm stuff anymore. We've sent it all home. I think Cece has already arranged to have her sent back to White's Pass. I may just see if I can find some cheap ones at Walmart when we go resupply tomorrow, because it's easier than trying to get them sent. But you can see just foggy. You can actually see a little bit right now. A lot of today you haven't been able to see very far at all. All right, look at this. South of me is still real cloudy and misty and hazy. But this is actually looking like clear skies. And occasionally, there has even been sun peeking through just for a minute or two at a time. Look at that. It is 5 o'clock, and we went from that little bit of teasing us with the sun to back cloudy, completely overcast. Wind is picking up, starting to feel some raindrops again. So that is not good. I was really hoping that we could get set up and maybe get through the night with no more rain. Still got a little over a mile to the junction to get on the Eagle Creek Trail. All right, so here's the trail closure, but I can't figure out yet where the trail goes. Okay, so it looks like this was the PCT. Gotta go back this way somewhere. I never found the solid trail though, so we'll figure it out though. What a day. It's cleared up again. The rain's gone. The sun's out a little bit. Still cold, but man, coming across, I had about a mile, maybe a mile and a half. A mile of it was just exposed across the ridge line of just walking on like scree fields. And the wind and the rain was just pelting. I got so cold, so wet. But now I've descended probably 1,500, maybe 1,700 feet. And we're down below, I think, the weather to some degree. Either that or it moved out, because I can see some clear skies and some nasty skies. So, I haven't looked lately, but I'm guessing we are about almost 27 miles in for the day, probably. I don't know how far we're going. Cece and I had talked earlier about, like, let's just see where we're at. But she's well ahead of us, because Hollywood and I stopped for a little bit of a late lunch, and we got our tents out. It was overcast and cloudy, but a little bit of a breeze, and we were just trying to shake some of the water out of our tents and then let it dry just a little bit at least. And Cece said it was too cold to stand there, so she kept walking. So I don't know how far ahead of me she is. When I told her I thought there was a place exactly 30 miles, it's a tent site for 5. That was in the list of on trail. For some reason, I was not thinking that since we are on a detour, none of that's on here. You got to look at it differently. So I don't know where we're going. Wherever she stops is probably where we'll go since she's out front. I'm going to turn this camera around and show you this cool view and then put it away, but I can't go any further. I'm on a steep, rocky descent here. Look at this. Oh, it's actually blue up there. Look at that. Okay, here's where I'm going. Right down there. The story of my life lately is video in low light, it seems, in the evening. It is 8:15. I'm set up here. Like, everything's damp. My quilt's damp, but it's fluffed enough that I'm not gonna be uncomfortable. With the tent up and a little bit of breeze, I think it'll be pretty dry soon. Fingers crossed we don't get any more rain tonight. If we don't get any more rain tonight, things should be fine. We've got, I don't know, about 11 left tomorrow, but today was something. We did a little over 30 with all the rain, the cold, and the wind, and with trail magic. So all in all, it was a great day, just horrible weather, but I'm ready to get some food and go to bed. So have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.